Ever felt tired of burning out on your dancing creativity? You feel like you hit a wall and you're stuck with the same 5 or so dance tricks to pull out of your belt when you're making up your own choreography? Or maybe you have great ideas, but you have absolutely no idea how to execute them. In this video, I will be discussing the 9 things that every dancer needs to successfully choreograph a dance piece, and what it really takes to defeat choreographic burnout and fall in love with your dance routine that you put so much effort into achieving. We put a lot into creating things without having the proper foundation to start, or the understanding to why we're left feeling frustrated in the process. These are some of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, what it really takes to choreograph well, have fun with it, and really make your dance piece come to fruition. Let's get into it! Set the intentions first. If you don't know your why and what you're doing, you'll have no reason to continue any dance project you attempt. The brain easily has the capacity to forget the reasons we want to do something. So if you continuously feed your brain the repeated intentions of your dance work and everything that goes into it, then the brain will adapt to what feels familiar and will latch onto what inspires you to keep going and to create. Pick the music, choose how many dancers are going to be in your piece, who among your friend group will be in the piece. Write out a rough dance concept. It doesn't even need to be anything elaborate yet. Envision the dance in your head while you're listening to the music. What will the stage lighting look like? What are the colors you want to see? What will the costumes look like? All these things feed an ideal image of what you desire, and when you jot it all down and have something to come back to, your brain will see the intentions set in place once again, and from then on, you can enter into a flow state and make it come to fruition. Set a deadline. Apply for that festival that's in 3 months from now. Tell everyone on social media when your dance concept is going live. Setting the date is starting the clock in your mind to act and to act now. This deadline is now becoming your accountability partner because you're now requiring yourself to make this idea actionable. And if you fear this will add a ton of pressure on you to choreograph and choreograph fast, that's what step 1 is for. When you remember your intention, the work actually becomes easier and more manageable to achieve. So then you set that deadline, and then the dance actually gets done on time. Ample food and water are your best friend. I can't stress this enough. Without the proper nutrients being provided to the brain and body, creativity becomes inhibited. What happens to the body with a lack of sustenance is the muscles aren't fed the energy it needs to physically move and dance to the fullest capacity that you, in this case, are capable of, which will limit your choreographic ability. Now what happens to the brain if it doesn't reach proper glucose levels, H2O levels, iron levels, other important minerals that the body clearly needs to reach our optimal health? Our overall neurological environment in the brain cannot fully operate to a level capable of organic creativity. You start getting brain farts, you forget the choreography you just made up because you can't even remember the last 5 seconds of coming up with something. You become stressed with the creative process because you can't even function straight, or you may even spiral and want to give up. That is the last thing that we want. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. If your mental, emotional, and physical health do not come first, that is a breeding ground for shutting down. So please, eat when you're hungry, drink 64 ounces of water a day, throw some electrolytes in there, and take care of yourself because you deserve it. Fight or flight is your enemy. From what I've seen and from what I've experienced, stress is reportedly the #1 cause to anybody's downfall. It impacts your well-being, your relationships, your physiological health, your ability to function. We don't want stress to be in the driver's seat. So in order to alleviate it, we have to first identify it. What's keeping you up at night? What are the triggers to your overwhelming thoughts? Is it something that you can or cannot control? If so, what can you do with it? If not, what is the best way that you can let that go, and what does that look like for you? Is it something or someone taking up that space in your mind? Notice how your body somatically reacts to situations surrounded by people, places, and things that take up space in your life, and study the kind of impact it is leaving on you. Recognize the automatic thoughts you develop in the rooms you walk through, and see if they're they're negative and if they're causing you to go into a state of fight or flight. Because that is the very thing that we can let go of. We don't invite anyone or anything that causes consistent stress in our lives. So you can give yourself the permission to A, completely rid of that burden, or if that's too abrupt in your case, B, minimize how much you entertain that burden. Because it's only by doing that will you have the physical and mental capacity to create actively and authentically. I know from experience what it's like to live in a constant state of fight or flight and what it's like to be in creative limbo. But what I didn't realize was the capacity at which those two things can influence one another. When I was living in New York in 2024, I was going through a lot of personal stuff that was affecting my everyday, and I was so focused on making ends meet and working hours and hours on end. I knew that dance was typically my anchor, so if I kept myself in that environment along with everything else I was going through, I would still be my creative self and be inspired by my dance community, make a name for myself and for my art, whatnot. As much as that worked a little, it could only take me so far. I had a million ideas and none of them followed through. I was in a dance workshop that came with a bunch of fun tasks, tools, and opportunities to create choreography, showcase my work, and I never created a thing. I was having so much trouble with dancing, creating, and being myself. All because of my environment at the time, as in who and what occupied my life and the behaviors that came with it, put me in a constant fight or flight that I had no idea I was in. And it wasn't until I let go of and minimized what put me in survival mode for so long that I actually gained the creative freedom that my brain and body were capable of and so desperately missed. Flash forward to fall of 2025 in my first dance company, moved to a different city, a lot of life changes and a lot of healing. I created my first choreographic piece since college and it debuted at my dance company's annual choreographic festival. Flash forward to 2026, I applied for a dance festival in New York City and I got in. I set the work in motion, I planned the rehearsals, and within 8 to 9 weeks, I debuted my choreographic work and performed in New York City for the first time in my life, making a dream of mine come true. So with that being said, if this is not a testament to what stress can do to the creative mind and body, I don't know what is. Document your journey. Whether it's by journaling, video, voice recording, whatever you have, save it. Even if it seems silly and you think you won't need it, chances are you'll need the fluff. It serves you better than you think it will. You'll need it for that one moment where you forget why you started, that one space in your piece that's blank, and you need a filler for that one 8 count that's driving you absolutely nuts because it's a hole in your piece that you now need to fill in. If there's no proof to your idea, then how can there be proof of creation? Get out your journal or a piece of paper and write it down. Film it, record it, file it, do what you need to do. Pro tip, not sponsored. If you get the app called Arrange Us, it is an app that saves your dance formations for you. So you don't have to remember which dancers go where. You can name the dancers, whether they go stage right or left. This app has been a lifesaver to remember placements and formations for a dance piece or routine of any kind. This one may be cliche to some, even though it is a phenomenal tool. Improv! Improvisational skills. The tried and true to all dancers. Duh. Whether you let your body move you in the present moment, or you improv in your head while driving your car someplace and having a jam sesh, it will become a breeding ground for your ideas and choices. This step is your saving grace for when choreographic blocks occur, which means your brain is on overdrive from thinking intensively and trying to have all the answers at once. So just do the wiggle routine, let your body speak for itself. You can choose to film it to remember what you did, or choose to feel it out in the moment off camera until some point in your improv session sparks an idea for you to elaborate on. Try it with no judgment, and most importantly, do it for you. And do it to music that you love. Turning on any song won't necessarily bring inspiration to you and your body as well as a song that you vibe with. Because of that familiarity, you'll have more dynamic in your movement from the music that you choose, and it will feel better on your body, bringing you confidence in the movement you come up with on the spot. Make that playlist. The brain is so brilliant, and what it can do sometimes with music is it will hear a song and remember that 1 minute long contemporary combo that you made 5 years ago but did nothing with. Now, all of a sudden, you have a backbone to your choreography that you can now play with. The brain has the power and capacity to associate a song to a movement that you choreographed to it, or an emotion you had during a time in your life that you felt inspired. This alone is a very useful tool when you don't know where to start when you're choreographing or visualizing a dance piece. Songs become our anchor. Believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. If you think at any moment this is never going to work, you're already shooting yourself in the foot before you've even tried. The inner critic loves this kind of language. Everyone has that little voice in their head that just wants to remind them of the things they're doing wrong, everything that they're doing that's apparently not good enough, or convince them why nothing they come up with is worth it. And when that happens, I want you to do something for me. Come closer. Come. I want you to say to this critic of yours, "Thank you, but I got this." What you're doing is you're giving the power right back to you. Not to this voice that has none of your needs or desires in mind. The brain's reticular activating system constantly searches for what feels familiar. And when you step outside of your comfort zone and start choreographing and creating and doing something that is unfamiliar, the inner critic likes to barge in and say, "Hi,
red flag. You shouldn't do this, and here are all the reasons why this won't work."
This is the brain's way of attempting to protect yourself from danger. And sometimes it can't tell the difference between a harmless dance opportunity and a physical bear attack. So when you feed your brain all of this proof that this will work because you make the choices that elevate you and not discourage you in the way that the inner critic sometimes does, you will develop the confidence you need to make your vision possible and curate a deep faith within yourself that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. So tell that inner critic, "Thanks, but I got this." Seriously, this has saved me so many times. My therapist has recommended this. I can't stress enough that this works wonders. And finally, you need to accept that nothing is perfect. I know if you're like me, you're probably thinking about every single inch that goes into your dance piece. The lighting, the music, the costumes, the music, and how to mix the tracks together. The dancers that will be in your routine. Who will be where and how long? Will there be partnering, formations, contagions, sequences of movement that all fit to your liking? Yet, it is very possible that not everything will go according to plan. I know it sucks to hear. I've been there, and I go there every time I make something new. Wanting everything to go well is so valid and so true, and it speaks to how much you care as a person and artist. And I never want you to lose that. However, you got to leave room for acceptance that things might look different than how you originally planned. It's okay for thoughts and ideas to change. Some of those changes can actually be outside of your control. Like, if someone gets sick and you need to block your dance or find someone else. Or your budget doesn't call for that dream wardrobe for your piece. Or the lighting crew that you work with operates differently than you do. That is all okay. And I'm not saying that you can't have it all or that everything will go wrong. What I am saying is it's not worth attempting to expect every second of the dance to be exactly what you fully envisioned as if it's all or nothing. Because that cuts off your creative flow and choreographic burnout follows. That requires tremendous amounts of your energy for your brain to work everything out and plan every little thing as if it has to happen, otherwise it's the complete end of the world. But if you walk into rehearsal with the hopes of everything going to plan and an acceptance that something might change, you're going to have so much more life and energy into what you choreograph, and it will actually feel more like you. Take it one step at a time. Plan out your rehearsals and what you can control, and what you do and create will manifest into something remarkable that really speaks to you. And that is all I have for you guys. These are the 9 wonderful tools you'll need to successfully accomplish your choreography with ease and confidence. This will be a choreography series I would like to elaborate on my channel. So hit that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. These are some of the things that I wish I heard when I was starting out in my choreographic journey, and I hope this brings valuable input to anyone who's struggling creatively or afraid to try something new. We are not dealing with choreographic burnout anymore. Not anymore. No. Let me know in the comments below what were your favorite tips from the video and which of these tools you have implemented so far into your personal routine to keep you inspired and actively creative. I'm so happy and so excited for what's in store for you guys. Until next time, God loves you, I love you, I'll see you on the next one. Ew.